There are many ways to install Windows on the computer, such as installing it with the hard drive, but when the computer is hanging up and cannot access the hard disk, installing Windows with USB is the best way to reinstall Windows on the computer. The steps to install Windows with USB are: 1. Creating a USB boot. 2. How to Win with USB. Start with a USB boot. To install a Win with USB, you need to prepare a USB with a capacity of 8 GB or more, then plug it into the machine to create a USB boot. Next, you need to download the USB boot generator software, Rufus. You open the web browser, enter the word Rufus, and then look for it on the page rufus.ie. You click on and then drag the mouse down the item. There is a link to download the software. There are standard and mobile versions. To download for the computer, you choose the standard version. The standard version is the 64-bit and 86-bit versions, depending on the machine you are installing the 64-bit or 86-bit version on. To see which version your computer is installing, you go out to see the computer's information. If your computer enters the system type as a 64-bit operating system, you download the 64-bit version, and for a 32-bit or 86-bit operating system, you load the 32-bit version. Note that Windows 11 only supports the 64-bit version, so if you don't support 64-bit, you can't install Windows 11. In the System Type section, it will show an x64-based processor when the machine supports 64-bit. Go back to the Rufus page. If you want to download that version, click on that version to download. It will be located in the left corner of the screen or in the Downloads folder of the computer. Then you click on the downloaded file to open the app. The window will show up, and you will select Yes. When the software asks you to update, you choose Yes to continue, and the application window opens up. In the device cell will show your USB information. If it does not appear, you need to check if the USB is already connected to the computer. In the Select box, select the Windows 11 file. To download the Win11 ISO file, you open a new web tab, enter Win11 ISO, and then press Enter to search. Pages will appear, and you choose the download page for Windows 11. Download the Windows 11 disk image ISO for an x64-bit device. In the Select Download box, select Windows 11. Then select Download Now. You will be redirected to the language selection page, where you choose the language as English, United States, and then select Confirm. The page will move to the download version of Windows. You click on the 64-bit download section to download Windows 11. A fast or slow download time depends on your internet speed. When the download is done, you go back to Rufus and select the downloaded ISO file. When you select ISO version in the Select box, then the image option, partition scheme, and target system cells will be set automatically to the default. You can edit, but Win11 new versions should be according to the standard GPT, EPT, and UEFI. If the machine has a low configuration, then you should not install Windows 11. Next, at the volume label box, you can name the USB, which you click on to change the name. Self to default. The rest of the cells you also to, by default. Then select Start to create a USB boot. There is a message that will remove the requirements of the machine, such as 4 GB of RAM with TPM 2.0. You leave the default. To continue to create a USB boot, you choose OK. There will be a warning that data on the USB will be deleted. If you have data, save it and do it again. If the USB is empty or the data is not important, then choose OK to start creating a USB boot. The USB boot process will start, and it will take about 20 minutes. When the blue line shows ready, the USB boot process is completed, and you select Close to close. Next is how to use USB. You plug the USB into the machine, then restart the device. During the boot process, you press the next key continuously to enter the boot mode of the computer. For the line, ASUS, Acer, Dell, Lenovo, and ThinkPad, press the F12 key. Press the F9 key. Press the F11 key. Sony. Press F11, ESC, or F10. Some laptops or computers often show the shortcut to the BIOS and boot options when the computer starts. If you notice, you will see the keys above. After entering the boot menu, you use the up-down key to select. You select USB, and then enter. In the Windows Setup window, select Next, then Install Now, and then select I don't have a product key. There are many versions of Windows. You should choose the Pro version because it is popular with all the utilities and many users. Then select Next. Then click on I accept, and then choose Next. selecting Custom. Here there are many hard drive partitions. If you do not remember which drive is installed or contains data, to review which drive contains data or which drive is installed, you can use the key combination Shift plus F10 to type the command. You enter from Notepad and then press Enter to open the Notepad page. Next, you select the file and choose Open, which will open the folder window containing the drives and files in the machine. If you choose a partition with less than 1 GB of capacity, then delete it. After deleting the partitions by default, you select the C drive and then choose Format to clean the drive, then select Next to go to Settings. You wait for the file loader and the installation. It takes about 20 minutes. When the display selects the area, you leave the default and then select Yes. The keyboard item you leave by default, then choose Yes. Wait for the installation machine. Here you name your computer, or you can ignore it. I name the machine, and then select Next if you skip for now. You choose Setup for personal use, and then choose Next. If you do not have a Microsoft account, disconnect the computer from the network and go back to the previous step to skip this step. Enter the name of your computer and then select Next. If you want to create a password, then enter Not to create and leave it empty, then select Next. Next, continue to choose Next, Default, and then choose Accept. Wait a little while, and the process is complete. After the installation is completed, you reconnect to the internet, then go to Windows Update to update the new updates to Windows. So I have taught you how to create a USB boot as well as install Windows on the computer. If you like what you see, share it and subscribe to the channel to watch more videos. Hi, and see you again.